A couple of days later, after having that conversation with my mom up in the mountain, I was at the gym working out one day. I was just sitting on the bike, and they have these televisions, and I was flipping through the channels and came about this one Spanish network. I never seen this network, and at the bottom corner it said Almavisión. And I don't know why. It was a little phone number, and I just wrote down the phone number in my phone, and I went home. And I remember walking in at home, and I asked my mom, I said, "Mom, have you ever heard of this Spanish network?" And she said, "No." She said, "Well, why don't you call them?" And I thought, call them for what? But the next day my mom came to me and she said, "Hey, we're gonna go meet the president of this network." And I thought, "We?" I said, "No." I said, you can go." She said, "No, come with me. I don't want to go by myself." At that time, my mom was working with the Hispanic community, helping organize some events in San Antonio. She said, "Come on, you're coming with me." So I said, "Okay, finally." So we drove downtown. We got to this little fruit warehouse downtown LA. And there was a sign out there that said Almavisión, and we were supposed to meet the president of the network. And really, I didn't really think much about it. We walked in, he received us in his office, and my mom and him started talking. And my mom just started sharing about helping the Hispanic community and some of the events that we're doing. And then about 5-10 minutes later, he just looked at me and said, "So what about you? What do you do?" I said, "Well, I've been coaching tennis, but this is my background, being a professional triathlete."
I got so many questions stuck upon my mind. I see so few solutions, so I push them all behind. When people ask me how I'm doing, I say I'm just fine. But deep inside there's a battle raging that is driving me completely wild. But no one said it would be easy. No one promised me a ride on angel wings. But I got the Holy Ghost inside me. With him I got all it takes to win. 'Cause I got so much energy in my blood.
And for all of you guys that don't know what the Ironman is the probably one of the hardest races in the world. And it consisted of 2.5 mile swim, 112 mile bike, and a marathon at the end. And I thought, how in the heck am I gonna finish that, But something inside of me told me, keep training. So I remember it took me 3-4 years of being diligent and train hard. Finally I made it to Hawaii. And I got to Hawaii. I was really excited, because there's 1,500 people, just the 15 most fittest, best triathletes in the world. And I was one of them, I was so proud of what I was doing. But everything was great until, the race started. And the first part was great, because your adrenaline is all pumping and you're like all excited. But after a half hour, it starts getting tough. You're swimming in the ocean and the waves get bigger. And then you start wondering what the heck you got yourself into. But something inside of me kept telling me, keep going. One more stroke. I got off the swim part and I started biking. 112 mile bike. The first part, yeah, it's downhill, and then you're all happy because you're like, oh, finally you can rest and relax. But yeah, you get 60 miles into the bike, and then the hills start, and then the heat, 80-90 degree heat, and the humidity and the wind is blowing you all over the place, and then you really start wanting to quit. I remember I was biking, I was just like trying to hold to my bike. I'm like, I cannot go one more pedal. I just want to throw this bike away. Somebody come pick me up. I'm quitting. But something inside of me kept telling me, you've trained, you're ready for this, keep going. So I finished the bike part. I got to the run part. After 7 hours, now you have to run 26 miles. Same thing, I started good because my strongest event was a run. And I started running, and it was great till the 18th mile, where it was the most painful thing, but the same thing, something inside of me kept telling me, keep going, keep going. I ended up finishing and I did pretty well. And I relate that I learned a lot through that. You know, in life, there's times where, you know, you have dreams, you have things that you want to accomplish. And I want to tell you, there's going to be times when you start everything seems great. You know, everything seems easy. Or like, you know, when people get married, everything, you know, first month, 2, 3 years, everything's great, you know. But you know, there's gonna be some times where the hills come up, you know, and the wind starts blowing and it gets hot. And those are the times where you have to keep going. No matter what your dream is, I want to encourage you to keep going.
But I feel your vibes, to be honest with you, I need your energy.